Victoria Ashford stood in the elegant restaurant lobby, her 5-year-old daughter, Sophia, clutching her hand. At 34, Victoria had built Ashford Enterprises into a luxury fashion empire worth billions. But tonight, she felt like a nervous teenager. Her assistant had convinced her to try one last blind date. His name is James. He's a contractor, runs his own business. My cousin knows him, says he's genuine. Now, looking at the upscale venue, Victoria second-guessed everything. Her babysitter had canceled, and Sophia had begged to come along. "Please, Mommy. I promise I'll be good." Victoria had relented, figuring she'd cancel the date anyway once she arrived. But as she turned to leave, she saw him. A man in a simple gray t-shirt and jeans sat at a table near the window, completely out of place among the suited diners. He had dark hair, a strong build, and an easy smile as he talked to the little girl across from him, maybe 6 years old, wearing a bright pink dress. The hostess approached Victoria. "Miss Ashford, your table is ready. Mr. Bennett is waiting." Victoria's eyes widened. "That's my date with the little girl." It appears both parties had childcare issues tonight. The hostess smiled. "Shall I seat you?" Victoria looked down at Sophia, who was already staring at the little girl with interest. "Okay." "Yes." As they approached the table, James stood. Up close, he was even more handsome, rugged, genuine, with kind eyes that showed surprise and relief. "You brought your daughter too," he said, smiling. "I'm James. This is my daughter, Lily." "Victoria. This is Sophia." Victoria felt herself relaxing. "I was about to leave. I thought bringing a child to a blind date was unforgivable." "So did I. Glad we're both unforgivable together." James pulled out chairs for them. "Lily's mother passed away 3 years ago. It's been just the two of us. My babysitter canceled last minute. I'm so sorry." Victoria sat down, helping Sophia into her chair. "I'm divorced." Sophia's father wasn't interested in being a parent. He hasn't seen her in 2 years. The girls were already bonding, whispering about their stuffed animals. Sophia had brought a unicorn. Lily had a teddy bear in her backpack. Over dinner, Victoria learned that James ran a construction company, not the massive operation she'd assumed, but a small business that did quality residential work. He was honest, funny, and clearly devoted to Lily. "Can I be honest about something?" James said as the girls colored on their kids' menus. "When your assistant reached out to set this up, I almost said no. I figured a billionaire fashion mogul would want nothing to do with a contractor who shows up to a fancy restaurant in jeans because it's the nicest thing he owns." Victoria looked at her own champagne-colored suit designer, probably worth more than his truck. "And I figured you'd take one look at me and run. Most men are either intimidated by my success or only interested in my bank account. Are you kidding? I'm terrified of you, but also kind of impressed that you showed up with your daughter instead of canceling. That takes guts or desperation." Victoria smiled. "I haven't dated in 3 years. I work constantly. I'm raising Sophia alone, and I barely remember what it's like to have a conversation with an adult that doesn't involve quarterly earnings. I haven't dated in 3 years either. Between Lily and the business, there's no time. And honestly, I didn't know how to explain to someone that my daughter comes first. Always. Mine too." They watched the girls, who were now trading crayons and giggling together. "Daddy," Lily said, "can Sophia come to our house? We have a treehouse. I want to see the treehouse." Sophia bounced in her seat. James and Victoria exchanged glances. "How about this?" Victoria said carefully. "It's getting late for a play date tonight, but maybe next weekend we could all go to the park together, the 4 of us." "I'd like that," James said. Over the following months, they dated as a foursome. James never seemed intimidated by Victoria's wealth. He treated her like Victoria, not like a billionaire. Victoria found herself relaxing around him in ways she never had with men in her social circle. "You know what I love about you?" James said one evening after the girls had fallen asleep during a movie at his modest house. "You don't apologize for your success, but you also don't use it as a weapon or a test. You're just you. You know what I love about you? You see me, not my company or my money. When we're together, I'm just Sophia's mom. Just Victoria." 6 months in, Victoria invited James and Lily to a fashion show, one of her company's biggest events of the year. She'd arranged for a quiet, private box. Thinking it would be less overwhelming, James arrived in a suit he'd clearly just bought, and Lily wore a new dress. They both looked nervous. "You didn't have to get dressed up," Victoria said gently. "Are you kidding? This is your world. I wanted to fit in." James tugged at his collar. "Even if I feel like an imposter." During the show, Victoria watched James try to appreciate the fashion while clearly being completely out of his element. Lily kept asking questions about why the models looked so serious and why the clothes were so fancy. Sophia whispered to Lily, "My mommy makes pretty clothes, but I like your regular clothes better. They're more comfortable." After the show, Victoria's business partner cornered her. "Victoria, who is that man? He looks completely out of place." "He's James. We're dating." "Dating?" "Victoria, he's a contractor. What could you possibly have in common?" Victoria felt defensive anger rise. "He's kind, genuine, and treats my daughter like she matters. He's more real than anyone in this room." Her partner looked skeptical, but walked away. James had overheard. "Victoria, maybe I should go. I don't belong in your world." "You're right. You don't belong in this world." Victoria took his hand. "Because this world is fake and exhausting and full of people who care more about appearances than character. You belong in my real world, the one with Sophia and Lily and pizza nights and treehouse adventures. That's the world that matters." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I've been trying to keep my professional life and my personal life separate, but I don't want to anymore. I want you in both. I want us to build something together, not just a relationship, but a family." James pulled her close. "I was afraid to say that. Afraid you'd think I was moving too fast. But Victoria, I love you, and Lily loves you and Sophia. We're already a family." A year after that first chaotic dinner, James proposed at his construction site community center he was building, which Victoria's foundation was funding. "This is where our worlds meet," James said, kneeling in the sawdust with both girls beside him, holding flowers. "You bring the vision and resources. I bring the hands-on work. Together, we build something meaningful. Victoria Ashford, will you marry me? Will you let me build a life with you?" Victoria said yes, through happy tears, at their wedding. Victoria's toast addressed their unusual beginning. "A year ago, I almost canceled a blind date because my babysitter canceled. James almost canceled for the same reason. We both showed up anyway, daughters in tow, feeling like we'd failed before we started. But those two little girls taught us something, that the best families aren't built on perfection. They're built on showing up honestly, even when it's messy. Even when you're wearing jeans in a fancy restaurant or bringing your daughter to a blind date. James, you showed me that real partnership means accepting each other's whole lives, not compartmentalizing. Thank you for seeing me, not my billions. Thank you for loving my daughter like your own. Sometimes blind dates work better with plus twos. Sometimes the contractor in jeans is worth more than the billionaire in designer clothes, and sometimes they're both worth everything when they're together. Sometimes bringing your daughter to a date isn't a disaster, but a beginning. And sometimes the best families are built when two single parents stop trying to be perfect and just show up as they are. If this story touched your heart, please like and share it. Subscribe for more stories about real love that transcends social barriers. Leave a comment about embracing imperfection and finding family. Your stories inspire us all.